I think a lot of drummers make the same mistake. Every time they feel stuck, they start looking for something new to learn. A new rudiment, a new pattern, a new exercise. And don't get me wrong, going through new things is great. But in my experience, that's usually not what creates the biggest breakthroughs. The problem is that being able to play a rudiment and being able to use it are two very different things. So in this video, I want to show you why learning more rudiments isn't necessarily what will make you a better drummer, and why some of the biggest breakthroughs come from getting more out of the ideas you already know. This is the paradiddle. Does playing that mean that I really know the paradiddle? Basically, what I just played was like a skeleton. It's a skeleton that on its own is really quite flat. I tried to play it consistently using the same volume all the time. I just basically played the hand order, but it doesn't sound much yet, does it? It doesn't really matter if I played those using single strokes only. So why do I even need the paradiddle if the sound is the same? And that's the key point, because if we know how to get past that phase where we only play, like, think about the hand order, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. And at first, obviously, you need to just work on that, of course. It's difficult. It's more difficult than using right, left. But sound-wise, that's pretty boring. It's not giving you anything new. Like I just showed you, I can just play singles. What's the point? But once we start get into that paradiddle more, like deep dive into the possibilities that you can have with that, that's when you might realize why you even need that. So first, let's dive into the dynamic control part. We want to be able to make it sound a bit more than just same notes all the time, like the flat example. So if we accent the first ones, then you can already hear, if I play it faster, you can hear that there's the accent is more like the rhythm part, and ghost notes are just filling the rest. That's what you can basically hear. But even that is more difficult than you might think, because in order for you to fluently play that, you need a lot of hand control. You need to know your stroke types, and you need to know when to use them, like which part of the rudiment. And that on its own is not that easy, really. But that takes you one step further. Then you can already play different things. You can play the accents different places, like the toms. What about this type of accent? So that makes it sound different, even though I'm using the same hand order. But the accented notes kind of bring out a different rhythm that you can hear. And if you move those accents around somewhere else, it will also start sounding something completely different. So when I change the accents to different places and I start to move it around the kit, you can hear different things. The paradiddle form allows you to do different things, like different types of movements around the kit than just using singles. So that's the real benefit of the pattern itself, because you cannot do everything with just using singles. It makes it too difficult and sometimes even impossible. But what I see often is if you've not spent enough time with something and it's not in your muscle memory yet, what will easily happen is you can play the paradiddle, for instance, you can play it on the pad or on the snare drum where you can hear the same sound. Okay, I can hear. I move the right hand to the floor tom. When that's completely new to you, the sound difference can be the one thing that throws you off. Even though you are playing the same movements, but because you are hearing completely different things, your brain kind of starts focusing on the different sound. And even you might even focus on the tom rhythm. And once your focus goes to the tom rhythm, then you cannot think about the hand order anymore. And if it's not ingrained in your muscle memory, then you will get lost. So in order for that to not happen, you need to repeat something long enough so that you can basically do it in your sleep, that it's automated already. It's off that part of the brain where you have to consciously think about it. As you saw, I was playing the same pattern, the single paradiddle, but I changed some of the accents. I changed where I moved with that pattern, but still I was able to keep the form. Like, I didn't have to focus on the form. Sure, like once I move things around, I always have to be aware that I didn't change the pattern by accident. That's something that we always have to make sure that we are checking from our own playing, that am I changing it? Because no one is here to tell me if I made a mistake except you, because I know that you are really like focused like on the other side of the camera. Sometimes when I'm playing myself, I'm filming these tutorials, I don't like realize I'm doing, like I'm making some mistake, but typically you are the ones who are like noticing these things, which is of course like something, like when you are doing the thing, it's more difficult to notice when you're making a mistake, but you can of course try to get better at it. And like we all make mistakes, obviously, but like that can easily happen. So we always have to check, did I change it by accident? And filming yourself is a good way to do it, because then you can always go back and see, oh yeah, I didn't play that right. But the point was that once we have ingrained some pattern so deeply into our system that when the sound changes, when we use something with it, like the bass drum, when we play in a groove with that paradiddle, or we move our hand to different places and our brain is no longer like thinking that our hands are like this, but it's like a different route, we won't get like thrown off. We know that the pattern stays the same. So the next time you learn a new rudiment, don't immediately ask yourself what's next. Ask yourself how many different ways you can actually use it. And can you control the dynamics? Can you move it around the kit? Can you turn it into a fill? Can you turn it into a groove? Can you make it sound musical? Because that's where things start to get interesting. More often than not, the biggest breakthroughs come from discovering new possibilities inside the ideas you already know. And at the end of the day, what's really important is control, because the better control you have over your hands, the easier it becomes to turn simple ideas into musical ideas. So if you want to improve that control, check out this video right here where I break down 5 common ghost note mistakes and what's actually causing them mechanically. I'll see you there.